Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Rive to receive the top 10 stocks to buy right now. No company did more to harm Meta's future than Apple last year when they introduced app tracking transparency that really broke the tie between data and advertisers and cost Meta as much as $10 billion per year. But the battle between these two companies is not over, and it looks like it's now moving to the metaverse, with Apple likely announcing a headset that will launch later in 2023. I think this is one that's worth digging into and talking about how these two companies are battling it out. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe to Rive Investing. It really helps out the show, and share this with anybody that would be interested, because this is a topic that will be talked about all throughout 2023. So I think it's worth going back and starting with app tracking transparency. The way that Facebook, Instagram, and the family of apps, as Meta calls it, makes most of its money is through advertising. An ad is served up to a customer, and then Meta was able to track that ad all the way through to see if someone purchased something. So that advertiser could actually have a one-to-one understanding of, did this ad work in the way that I wanted, and what was my return on that investment? Meta, of course, was able to then maximize the dollars that it could charge per ad, because it had so much information and it was the best platform for this type of advertising. But Apple actually broke that with app tracking transparency. So now data needs to stay within its own app. Instead of a shop owner who's built their shop on Shopify, for example, advertising then on Facebook and being able to tie its ads that it's putting on Facebook to sales on Shopify, the tracking is broken between those two entities. That's why those two companies specifically were so impacted by app tracking transparency in 2022. And I think it's pretty common knowledge that Meta was actually the target. These two companies go back a long ways and have had a lot of battles. But the one that's going into the metaverse, I think, is going to be really interesting, because Mark Zuckerberg has obviously bet Meta's future, literally changed the company's name to try to own the metaverse and build this into a platform. It's no coincidence that he named the company Meta Platforms. He really wants to have a platform company, not just an app. And that's what he envisioned when he acquired Oculus and built the reality labs that we know today. But that business is not going as well as they likely hoped. We're about a decade into this experiment right now, and Reality Labs generated $2 billion in revenue over the past year, and it's on pace to lose about $15 billion. That's the state of Meta's VR and AR business. And now at the same time, Apple has decided to come in with its own headset. Now, Apple has done this before. They're usually not the first to market with products like this. They usually watch and see how the market develops, what customers want. And then when the time is right, when they can kind of Appleify a product, they come in with their own product. So what we're anticipating sometime this spring is them to announce a headset that will cost about $3,000. You're able to turn VR or AR on or off and kind of wear them as sunglasses, if you will. There's going to be LiDAR to track the outside world, make sure you don't run into things, and then even eye tracking so they can track what you're looking at in VR or AR. This will be an extension of the iPhone, I think, is the way to think about it. Unlike Meta, who was trying to build its own platform, Apple doesn't necessarily care if this is a super profitable business. They just need to make the iPhone and that entire ecosystem that much stickier for its customers. So Meta's trying to build a new platform and replace Apple. Apple's just trying to augment the best device that it has with the iPhone. I think that's two very different strategic positions. And given the fact that we don't know that VR or AR will have a lot of pull from customers, again, Meta, only about $2 billion in revenue. That's less than 1% of Apple's revenue in a year. This is currently not a very big business for these companies right now. And given the fact that Meta is betting tens of billions of dollars a year on the future of the metaverse, VR, AR, and owning that entire ecosystem, I think it's going to be really challenging that Apple is now entering the game. The other key that I don't want to miss here is that Apple has the retail presence to get this product into customers' hands. One of the challenges with virtual reality and augmented reality is that you have to see it to believe it. And Oculus, Facebook, and Meta have never had their own stores to show VR products to their customers, show them how they work best. You kind of have to just buy it and hope. Apple's going to be able to actually demonstrate this to customers in stores. I think that could bring a lot of traffic to Apple stores, and this might be the best distribution model for this type of hardware. So watch that as a potential differentiator. Even if this device doesn't become big in volume numbers, given the fact that it's going to cost about $3,000, I think this could really disrupt Meta's vision of owning the metaverse in the future. So this is a battle to watch in 2023. I'm excited to see Apple's product, but I'm really concerned that we may see the weakness in Meta's strategic direction and the products that they have in the metaverse and VR and AR as early as the end of the year. So keep an eye on that. What do you think about Apple's new product and their positioning against Meta? I'd be curious to hear in the comment section below. Give this video a like, and of course, subscribe to Rive Investing. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you here next time.